ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणो रघुनाथान्वितं तं सुजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदां सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितां च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि विशुभानुत्वे देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Welcome to IBC Siksha. We are reading Bhagavad Gita. We'll today start with chapter 18, the last chapter, and we'll discuss about it. Okay. So in the previous chapter, we discussed for those who don't have full faith in the scriptures, they follow only part of it. What is the result? So they go according to the modes. Mode of goodness will give good result. Mode of passion will give what kind of result?
Misery.
Misery. And mode of ignorance?
Foolishness.
Foolishness or madness. So we looked into that. So similarly, whatever they follow, the result will be one of these. And then three things, multiple things were seen: renunciation, food, uh, charity, and what food, charity, tapasya, austerity of mind, speech, body. All this should be in mode of goodness. So when it is in mode of goodness, then it should be offered to the Supreme Lord. How does it? How to offer to the Supreme Lord in the Vedic way? How it is offered? What are the three words that we should say?
Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat. Om means
Absolute.
to attain the Supreme.
You are the
Tat
Supreme.
means aspiring for liberation. I'm doing this to attain the Supreme, aspire for liberation, and Sat means I'll do it in mode of goodness.
It's POG means what, Prabhuji?
Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna.
Okay, Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. To please Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna.
Okay, and we had a nice discussion on spiritual master, and we looked at how Bali Maharaj rejected his spiritual master. Rejecting a spiritual master is considered very big offense, but it can be done in certain circumstances. What are those? If the spiritual master is against the shastra, if he's speaking against the shastra and he's speaking opposite of what the sadhus have said, at that point only we should reject the spiritual master. Otherwise we cannot reject the spiritual master. Okay, so now we'll get into this. Now this particular chapter is again a little bit of summarization overview of Bhagavad Gita, and then it stresses Bhagavad Gita, bhakti at the end, surrender to Krishna, and it says Arjuna, that Krishna says Arjuna, you should renounce the fruit of your work, not the work itself. Okay, be dutiful, detached work in true renunciation, which brings no reaction, in devotion to me. That is the perfection. So we are reading now the conclusion. Okay, 1 to 12, bondage, freedom from bondage through karma yoga. Okay, we'll start with some questions by Arjuna, and again Krishna will give some definitions. He will talk about three modes of material nature: Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, and all that. Okay, so pretty long chapter. Let's see. Um, we have some uh, six, seven sessions. So let's see if we can finish in 7 sessions. I think it can be done. Okay. For that, we will just get some overview. Okay. Now, so summary of the chapters 1 to 6. Karma section. First 12 verses, Karma Yoga. Then 13 to 17, Jnana section, knowledge of how to live in this world, how this world is made of the three modes, how do they act, and how to be aloof from them, how to use them in our benefit, and how to ultimately transcend them. That is the knowledge we got, right? Whatever we read now from 13th chapter, we got a lot of knowledge. Yes. So this knowledge helps us to act in a particular way. And then 19 to 40, the modes control all activities, Sakam to Nishkam, Karma Yoga. From Nishkam through liberation to devotion service. So from Nishkam, one has to come to devotion service. And then working in pure devotion service, most confidential knowledge, more confidential knowledge, most confidential knowledge. And then after we get this knowledge, we have to distribute it also. So preaching and studying the Bhagavad Gita. And Arjuna then says, yes, I will listen to you. And then Sanjaya does prediction and glorification of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so this is how the chapter is divided. Now, um, okay, okay. So can you start reading text number 1 translation?
Yes, Prabhuji. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, sannyasa. O killer of Keshi demon, master of senses.
So interestingly, there is two words. There is tyaga, means to give up, right? Tyaga, and then there is sannyasa. It's an order of life. What is the difference between the two?
Tyaga means if we sacrifice something, that is considered as tyaga.
And sannyasa means?
Sannyasa means they will they will leave all material enjoyments, all these things. That is
Yes.
sannyasa.
Yes, and then they will dedicate themselves towards understanding the
God.
absolute truth and developing love for God. So that is sannyas. Yes, that is true. Now Arjuna asking the same question. Because sometimes what happens is some people think that only in sannyas is where we need to do tyaga. Not today. Not today. But actually we have to do tyaga. But what does actually tyaga means? Tyaga means to give something which is ours, right? But actually nothing belongs to us. So we should understand that first. Okay. Okay. Can you read the highlighted ones only?
In the first 6 chapters, stress was given to devotional service. Yoginam api sarvesham. Of all yogas, transcendentalist, one who always think of me within himself is the best. In the next 6 chapters, pure devotional service and his nature and activities were discussed. In the third six chapters, knowledge, renunciation, activities of material nature, transcendental nature, and devotional service were described. It was concluded that all acts should be performed in conjunction with Supreme Lord. represented by words Om Tat Sat, which indicate Vishnu, the Supreme Person.
Yeah. So
Certain
the
transcendental, certain impersonalists
impersonals.
consider themselves to have monopoly of knowledge on Vedanta Sutra. But actually, Vedanta Sutra is meant for understanding the devotional service for the Lord Himself. Is a composer of Vedanta Sutra. He is its knower. That is described in the 15th chapter. In every scriptures, every Veda, devotional service is a objective. That is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of life is indicated to be renounced and attainment of transcendental position about three modes of nature. Arjuna wants to clarify two distinct subject matter of Bhagavad Gita, namely renunciation, tyaga, and the renounced order of life, sannyasa. Thus, he is asking the meaning of these two words.
Yeah. So in this verse, Arjuna uses two names of Krishna, Rishikesh and Keshi Nishudan. Keshi was a demon, and Krishna destroyed him. So Arjuna is saying, I have these doubts, you destroy these doubts. Rishikesha means one who controls the senses. And by doing that, we get mental serenity. If we have doubts, we'll be disturbed, right? So Arjuna is saying, you are Rishikesh. You give mental serenity. And you're Keshinishudan. I have some doubts, you kill it. So he uses these two words. Okay. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what learned men called renounced order of life, sannyasa. And giving up the results of all activities is what the wise call as renunciation. Okay. The performance of activities for results has to be given up. But activities leading to advanced spiritual life knowledge are not to be given up. Hmm? Uh, so there are certain sacrifices to attain good sun, elevation of higher planets, and these should be stopped. However, sacrifice for purifications of one heart for advancement in spiritual side should not be given up. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruitive activity should be given up as faulty. Everything that is fruitive should be given up as faulty. Some say like that. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penances should never be abandoned. These three things should not be given up: sacrifice, charity, and penances. Oh. So why the fruitive activity should be given up? Some think like that because sometimes this fruitive activity is not. It involves some killing of animal. Okay, so they think killing of animal is not good. So they say give up all these things. But actually, if we look into the Vedic literature, the sacrifice gives a new life to the animal. Once it is killed, na, in everyone's front side, the new life is come. Uh, New life is given to the animal. So that's how Vedic sacrifice were used to happen. Very difficult test, right? You kill somebody and it should come back to life. It's a very difficult uh, test. So but that was how the Vedic sacrifices used to happen. In today's world, only animals are getting sacrificed, but they are not getting new life. Okay, so that is condemned. If you don't have the ability to give a new life, then there is no need to take a life. Okay, so such sacrifices they create doubts in the learned men, and they think that no, we should not give. We should not do that. We should be giving it up. Okay, that's how they think. Oh, best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. Oh, tiger among men. Renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. So actually, it is of three kinds. What do you think is three kinds? Mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, mode of passion. This is how Krishna will tell. Acts of charity penances are not to be given up, they must be performed. So Krishna agrees that sacrifice, charity, and penance, they should not be given up, they must be performed. Whoever you may be, a sannyasi or a married person, or vanaprastha or brahmachari. Three things should be done: sacrifice, charity, penance. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, penance purify even the great souls. So great souls, uh, they continue doing this three things: sacrifice, charity, and penance. I will read this section, then we'll discuss. A yogi should perform acts for the advancement of human society. Should a sannyasi who is renounced order of life, who has given family, encourage the marriage ceremony? Yes. Why? Because it is not meant for him, but there are people who are following, right? And they are at a certain level. So for them, marriage ceremony is maintained so that they can be peacefully practicing spiritual life. But as far as the sannyasis are concerned, they should never associate with women. That does not mean that who is in the lower stages of life should not accept a wife. So do not go near women is meant for sannyasi. But at lower stage, a young man is allowed to be married, a wife in a ceremony. Similarly, charity should be performed for purification of heart. And we read through the three modes of material nature. It should not be performed for name and fame, should not be given to unworthy person, right? So same things here discussed. All these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pratha. That is my final opinion. Sacrifice, charity, penances, they should be performed without attachment, without any expectation of result, only as a matter of duty. So Krishna is repeating what he has said in the previous sections. In other words, all the sacrifices which are meant for material advancement in life should be given up, but sacrifice that purifies one's existence and elevate one to spiritual plane should not be stopped. A devotee of the light should accept any kind of work, sacrifice, or charity which will help him in discharge of the devotional service to the Lord. Prescribed duty should never be renounced. See, what is our duty? It should never be given renounced. If one gives up prescribed duty because of illusion, such a renunciation is said to be in mode of ignorance. So, what is renunciation in mode of ignorance? That prescribed duty I don't have to follow. And some purport is given. Can you read this section?
Yes, Prabhuji. Work for material satisfaction must be given up. But activities which promote one to the spiritual activity, like cooking for Supreme Lord and offering the food to the Lord, and then accepting the food, are recommended. It is said that person in the renounced order of life should not cook for himself. Cook for oneself is prohibited, but cooking from Supreme Lord is not prohibited. Similarly, a sannyasa may perform marriage ceremony to help his disciple in disciple in the advancement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces such activities, it is understood that he is acting in the mode of darkness.
Yeah. So activities which promote one to spiritual activity should be done. Like sannyasi, he's not meant to be cooking. He begs. But if he cooks for the Supreme Lord to offer him bhoga, then it is allowed. Getting? Similarly, a brahmana should not sing. There is a verse in um, Manu Samhita which says that brahmana should not sing. Then, if he has to sing poems to glorify the Supreme Lord, should he sing or not? What do you think?
He can sing, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, what he cannot sing then? Material
Film,
songs.
film songs.
Yeah. But what he can sing to glorify the Supreme Lord? Like that. So, such is, so if we, if, so, Any activity, if it is helping us in serving Krishna, we should do. Okay, like that. Anyone who gives a prescribed duty as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in a mode of passion. Oh, this is very troublesome. I don't want to do it. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. Uh, one who is in Krishna consciousness should not give up earning money out of fear that he is performing fruitive activities. So, who is married life, right? They have to earn money. But you should not think, oh, I'm doing this just to, enjoy. No. By working, whatever money he gets, he should engage his money in Krishna consciousness. If he doesn't do that, and if he thinks, oh, it's very difficult to earn money, then that is renunciation in mode of passion. It will lead to, what will mode of passion lead to?
Misery.
Misery. So let me ask you, some devotee thinks that, oh, earning money is very difficult thing, I won't do it. Then how come it is a misery?
If he won't earn money, then how he will lead his family life, Prabhuji?
Yeah. His wife will tell, what, you're not earning, right?
Yes. Wife, children, everybody is dependent on the
So it
Prabhuji.
will be miserable for everyone, for oneself and
Yes.
everyone. So in Bhagavatam, there comes a story of Sudama. Sudama was very poor Brahmana. Okay, as a Brahmana, he has to beg, but he was still poor. So his wife, suggested that you should go and beg from Krishna, who is your friend also, and he will give you. But Sudama was not so much ready. He said, "What? I should not beg from my friend. I can meet him." So, but wife when she forces, it's a very big force. So he had to listen to his wife, and then he collected shipped rice and he took it to Dwarka to Krishna. But he never asked anything from Krishna. Krishna is super soul in the heart, so he understood why he came from. But Sudama never asked. Sudama went with a detached mood. I don't want anything, you know. But Krishna came to know, okay, I need to provide. So then he provided all the richness to him. So, but anyway, he didn't give up earning, okay, or he didn't give up his begging as a Brahmana. That is not a point. I was just saying a story. Okay. Oh Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it's out to be done and renounces all material association and all attachment to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in mode of goodness. So if one does his prescribed duty just because he has to do it, renouncing all material association and all attachment to fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness. So we should renounce in mode of goodness. By doing what? By doing our prescribed duty as for duty's sake. And material association, we should give it up. And all attachment to the fruit. All attachment to the fruit means, yes.
Result, Prabhuji. All attachment to the results.
Meaning what? What does it mean? Someone ask you, how to be not attached to the fruit.
Good final outcome, we should not be attached.
See, attachment, we won't be able to part it. We won't be able to give it. Right? So if we are able to give it, then we are not attached. Getting? So like that.
Once again, Prabhuji, can you explain in detail?
So attachment means I won't give this to anybody.
Okay.
Like a child, it doesn't give that toy to anyone.
Okay.
But if you give something else to child and it's not attached to it, then he will give it back, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Same way, whatever fruit we get, because any work we do, there is some fruit going to come out. Okay. And if we are able to part it, Meaning, if we are able to give it some part of it to Krishna, then we are not attached to it, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that is what is called a detachment. That is the test.
Okay.
Okay. The intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness neither hates of inauspicious work nor attached to the auspicious work, has no doubts about work. So every work we do now, there is something inauspicious in it. Hmm? We are working in software and hardware and all that, and there'll be some problems. This particular software uses a lot of energy. Some pollution is going to be there, right? Hardware will be misused. Some issue will be there. But right now we are in this place, we have to work and we have this job now. So we should do it in a very detached way. Neither hateful for the inauspicious thing nor attached for the auspicious thing. Another way to look at it is this particular work may give some trouble, but I will do this duty even if it gives me trouble. Like army people, they have to work like doctors and all that. They are sometimes called in the mid of the night. They cannot say no to it. Patient is in severe need, they have to go, right? When project delivery is there, software engineers have to work day night. And when women are pregnant, they have to take care of the child. They cannot say, "Oh, it's very difficult to take care of the child. I will give it up." Right? So they should not fear. That is what it means to be renounced in the mode of goodness. It is indeed impossible for any an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruit of action is said to one who has truly renounced. See, one who can give his fruit is really renounced. Okay, one who can offer it to Krishna is actual renouncer. So then you don't have to be a sannyasi also. In married life also you can be a tyagi. And actually such souls are actually sannyasis. Prabhupada says this thing. For one who is renounced, the threefolds of actions, desirable, undesirable, mixed, occur after death. But those, okay, for one who is not renounced, then the fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, mixed, occur after that. But those who are in renounced order, there is no such result to suffer or enjoy. See, one who is attached to his fruits of action, right? They will have some karma to deal with. But one who is not attached, they won't have any karma. They'll be free from the result. I'll explain with an example. Like some people, they work in government. Now in government, you have tremendous power. So they may bribe also. They may take bribes, right? Now after they leave the job, those bribes and scams come out. And then what happens? The person is put into jail or he has to go to court every time. But one who is very truthful in his government job, he never took a bribe. Does he have to suffer or enjoy after? Does he suffer after his retirement? No.
No, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So to do your duty just for the sake of duty is very important. Otherwise, there are results and karma coming out of it. Some people are so attached to their fruits that they just don't want to give up. They will keep fighting till the end for that position. Have you seen this world, right? Politicians, government officials, leaders, dictators. So for them, such karma is going to come. Okay. Now, another important section. Oh, mighty and Arjuna, according to Vedanta, there are five causes for accomplishment of any action. Now learn these from me. So any action, if it is accomplished, it is due to these five causes. Can you read this highlighted section?
Yes, Prabhuji. Question may be raised that since any activity performed must have some reaction, how is that the person in Krishna consciousness do not suffer or enjoy the reactions of work? Lord is citing the Vedanta philosophy to show how is this possible. The ultimate control is invested in super soul. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Shaham Rudhisanne Vishtaha is engaged everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past actions. And the Krishna conscious acts done under his direction from within yield no reaction either in this life or in the life after death.
Yeah. So we may ask, any activity we perform, how come there is no reaction to it? Right? So long time back we discussed this. I don't know if we had discussed with you or with someone else. Yeah. Did we discuss this? Accomplishment of any work is equal to the body where the work is performed, the performer, the soul who's performing, he's using the senses and he's giving many endeavors to it. But it is multiplied by the super soul, the desire of the super soul, or let's say the decision of the super soul.
No, Prabhuji, I was not there.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, so this is the section we will come back again. Hmm? Okay. So Krishna says there are five factors which define, the accomplishment. We always wanted to know. I did put so much effort. Why it didn't work, or why did it work? Huh? Sometimes with less effort it works out. Sometimes with too much effort nothing comes out, or very less comes out. It's not. We are not satisfied with it, right? You have this feeling.
Yes, Prabhuji,
So now
sometimes.
here is the answer. Krishna says here is the answer. What he says, the place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the five factors of action. We'll read the purport. Can you read the purport? The word adhisthana.
The word adhishtanam refers to the body. The soul within body is acting to bring about results of activities and is therefore known as karta, doer. That soul is knower and doer is stated in the Shruti Isha He Drushta Sastra Parsana Upanishad 14.9. It is also confirmed in Vedanta Sutra by the verses Nyotva Eva 2.3.18. Karta Sasa Artha
Vatat.
Vatat
It's okay.
Vatat 2.3.33. Instruments of action are the senses, and by senses, soul acts in various ways. For each and every action, there is different endeavor. But all one's activities depends on the will of Supreme Super Soul, who is seated within the Arta's friend. The Super Supreme Lord is the super cause. Under his circumstances, he is you as acting in Krishna conscious under direction of super soul situated within the heart is naturally not bound by any activity. Those in the complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible for their actions. Everything is dependence on supreme will, super soul, supreme personality of Godhead.
So Krishna gives a mathematical formula. This is it. For any accomplishment of work, we need the body where we perform the work, right? It should be good, right? The body should be good. The body should be healthy. Can we do any work without a healthy body? No, right?
No, Prabhuji.
It won't come perfect. The performer, his will, the soul. What is the will of doing this work? Sometimes the body is good, but the performer doesn't want to put effort only. He doesn't want to even desire, right? Then the senses need to be in good health. Then only you can perform the. If somebody is blind, can he drive? No, right? Then endeavors. Everything we have the will, we have good senses, we have good body, but nobody is putting effort. Like some person have, like, they are good body. They just say, I have to exercise, but do they put efforts? They may not put efforts. So endeavors are required, effort is required, good senses, good body is required, the will is required. Now, according to modern thinkers, right, this much is enough to achieve anything in life. Yes or no? They'll always say you need to have good determination, you need to have good health, strong senses, and put lot of effort, right? This is what we hear everywhere, right? Keep putting
Yes, yes.
efforts. Hmm? We have stories talked about it. He put so much effort, so much effort. But do everyone accept this thing or not? Some have doubts. Why? Because even while putting so much effort, you may not get it. Can you give me one example where, let's say, five people put lot of effort, but only one could achieve the goal?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Give me an example. Where do you think such things happen?
In generally in a cricket match,
Ah,
only
yes, in sports. Good. So in
sports.
sports, players do really perform, like they put so much effort, but only one person gets the goal, the gold medal. And then sometimes somebody is even lucky. What happened is, there was once this skating. It's a skating and you have to run, and it's a run on skating. So there were these five people, and there was this one person from Australia, I think. And then when the race started, right, this Australian person was behind. He was the last person. Now it so happened is, till the end he was last, and there was only one lap. They were very near to the final line, that they had to cross. They were very near to it. But at that very moment, what happened is, one person fell, and the way he felt is that he took the other three also with him. And this person, Australian, who was last, he came first. So the effort, let's say like that, his body is good, he performed very nicely. I mean, he had the will to perform, his senses were good, but his endeavors were not up to the mark, because he was last, right? But still he got accomplished of his work, he got the gold medal. There is a video. Have you seen such a video, where the
No, Prabhuji,
no,
not
no,
seen.
okay, okay, I will share it in our group. So his endeavors were not up to the mark. Why? Because three people were in front of him, right? Three or four people were in front of him, right? But still he won. Why? Because of this factor. What is it called?
Super soul.
Yeah. At the end, it is providence, it is God who decided. Getting?
It's Prabhuji.
So this is the formula. Now it is not like it. I have put a multiplication to it. What does multiplication please? Means you may have this full marks, but Krishna will decide. The super soul will decide what is the factor. If he makes it zero point 0.5, it will become completely half, right? If it makes it 1, then you will fully get the work. If he makes it 10 times, then 10 times accomplishment you will get for that small effort. Getting?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So this is the reason. Now, if we look at this equation, one may say, should I put effort or not then? Right? Should I put effort or not? If everything just depends on the super soul, should I put effort or not? What is your answer to that?
We should put Prabhuji.
Why?
Because if we won't put effort, we won't get results, no?
So there is something called as um, circle of influence and circle of concern. Circle of influence is where we can put effort and change, and circle of concern is it is not under our control. So this is in our control. Okay, so this all points, even in this, right, it is in our control. Our body, we can make it healthy. Will, we can make it stronger. Senses, we can improve it. Endeavors, we can put a lot of endeavors, right? This is in our control. So when we put control, when we put in efforts in our circle of influence, the super soul which is in circle of concern means it is not in our control. We don't control super soul. It decides. When the super soul sees so much effort is put, it may give the result. And if the super soul sees that, okay, I should not give the result, then it won't give the result. So the point to understand here is we should always put efforts in what we control. And the example given is of a farmer. See, does the farmer know what will be the rainy season, how much rain is going to come, how much water is going to come? Does he know? Does he know how much rain is going to come? Does he know this? What do you think? Does he know or no? Doesn't know? You there?
When the rain will come, we will know, Prabhuji. How much rain will come, we won't know, but when the rain will come,
Yeah,
we know.
today when is definitely, but sometimes it gets delayed also. Like the whole month of August we didn't have rain in Bangalore, right? It rained all over India except in Bangalore.
Okay.
So we may have some idea to it because today's technology gives some idea, but sometimes it is not perfect, right? It tells it may rain,
Yes.
but suddenly it may not rain also. Ready? So
Yes.
we really don't have any control over this. Even our estimations are not 100% true. Is it 100% true? Weather forecast? No, right?
No,
Sometimes it
Prabhuji.
is 80% true, 90% true. Sometimes it doesn't even work, 10% and all. So it is not in our control. So does he know in reality? No, he doesn't know. If he doesn't know how much rain is going to come, how much water is going to be there, should that decide? should that decide whether to sow seeds or not. So he doesn't know how much rain is going to be there, how much is. So should that decide whether he sows seeds or not? What do you think? I'll put another question. The student doesn't know which questions are going to come. True? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Should that decide how much he should study?
No, Prabhuji. You should study everything and go.
Yes. So when it comes to effort, we should not think too much. We should put our effort because it is in our control. Later on, the super soul will decide what to do with it. Getting? But
Yes.
when we are not prepared and the super soul gives us certain questions which are from the chapters which we like, but we didn't prepare properly, are we going to get 90, 95? No. We may get 75 and then we will scratch our head and say, I should have studied little more, I should have studied little more. Yes? Sometimes students say this thing, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the super soul was favorable, but your endeavor was not up to the mark. We see such students, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And sometimes students they study so hard, but paper is comes very tough. Then the success is not that much. It is little less. Agreed? So that
Yes,
can
yes.
also
That's
happen.
good.
But most of the time, let's put it like this: most of the time, super soul is not going to play a dice. Like he's not going to toss a coin and say, okay, heads, fail, tails, pass. No, it's not like that. Most of the time, super soul awards the endeavors of the person. Therefore, modern thinkers, when they say that you should put effort and all that, that stands true. It is not that it is not true. That stands true. That if you put effort, nice effort, then super soul is going to award you. You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But at the same time, we should know that we cannot force the super soul to get a particular accomplishment or to get a particular result. We cannot force. He is independently deciding. Most of the time, he will award our endeavors. But according to our past life, which goes back thousands of millions of lifetimes, we have to get certain endeavors, certain results. And that we may not like it. Okay. So in this regard, there's a very nice story of Gandhari. Have you heard this name? Gandhari?
Gandhari is Dhritarashtra's wife, no, Prabhuji.
Yes. So how many sons she lost or she had?
100.
100.
100.
How many died in battlefield? Mahabharat battlefield. How many died?
99. 99.
100 died. All of them died.
All of them died, huh?
Yes, all of them died. All brothers. Duryodhan was the last to die. So
But I heard that one brother is inside of Pandavas.
see, um he protested when Draupadi was being insulted. Now he protested, but he still fought on the side of Duryodhan. and Bhima killed him.
Okay.
Yeah, Bhima killed him, but after killing him, Bhima did a parikrama of him.
Okay.
Why? Because he stood for truth, he stood for dharma. But for
Okay.
other brothers, Dushasan, he tore his body, pulled out blood from him. Duryodhan, he broke his leg, and all the other brothers, he just smashed them. But to this one brother, he showed some respect. So, but everyone died. So now Gandhari has this question: to get one son. Okay, Shastras say to get one son, a lot of pious activity is needed. Lot of pious karma is needed. How many sons she had?
100.
100 sons. So how much karma she must have done? Pious karma she must have done. A lot of, meaning we can't imagine. But all of them
Okay.
died. So she asked Krishna, how could all my sons died? How much pious karma I had done to get 100 sons? All of them died. And then wait. Then Krishna explained that 50 lifetimes before, Gandhari and Dhritarashtra were a hunter and a huntress, and they burnt a forest. In that forest, the birds died. That karma came to them in this life after 50 lifetimes. That all her sons had to die. Can you imagine how karma works?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, this is how it works, that the super soul decides based on our karma, past karma. If we are a devotee, it is a little different way, but most of the time, based on our past karma, it decides and then looks at the present endeavors and then gives us some accomplishment of our effort. Okay,
Okay,
so
Prabhuji.
our past karmas is the real reason why we may not get some accomplishment. Okay.
Then we have to be very careful, bro, Prabhuji.
See, even if we are careful, we don't know, na, 50 lifetimes, 100 lifetimes before what we did.
Yes, we don't know.
We don't know. So that's why we should not be so rigid. Okay. Rigid means like Gandhari was very rigid. 100 sons died. So then what she did? She cursed Krishna. That your,
How can normal human being can curse, Prabhuji?
yeah, your dynasty will live for 36 years only. After that, it will die. So a normal being cannot curse Krishna. But Krishna has the power to accept that curse. If he had not accepted that curse, nothing would have happened. But he accepted the curse. Why? So, one of the reasons that the Acharyas give is Krishna had how many sons? 10 sons into 16,108 wives. So many sons he had. Okay. They had multiple sons. So the family was really big. It would go into crores. So many powerful family he had, so many powerful family members had. So he was thinking how to how to take them away when his pastime is to be ended. How to take them away? So he took this curse, and then he used this curse to take all his Yadu family back to Godhead. And what he did was, in this curse, they fought with each other and they died and they went back home, back to Godhead. The only two people who didn't die in that was Krishna and Balram. So anyway, so the point, the answer to your question is, Krishna used the curse for his benefit. Okay. Otherwise, a curse
Okay.
cannot apply to him. Okay, so we discussed this point in depth, in detail, because it's a very important one. Any questions on this?
Today, only Tyaga and Sannyasi roles are important, no, Prabhuji.
Meaning,
Tyaga and renounced order of life.
important means?
Important means that is we should do Tyaga even though we are not a sannyasi.
No, no. Tyaga means to give our results in the service
Okay,
of Krishna. When we do
okay,
that, then we are on the level of a sannyasi. A married man, when
okay,
he can give his results to Krishna, then he is on the level of sannyasi. A sannyasi is supposed to be at that level, where everything he's using his mind, body, and soul, everything
okay,
in the service of Krishna. But a married person, if he does that, then he is also on the level of sannyas.
okay,
So the point is, one need not take sannyas. Within married life also, he can perfect his life.
okay,
That is
okay,
the,
Prabhuji.
yeah. Okay, we'll read these few sections. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by his body, mind, speech is caused by these five factors. Okay, these five factors cause all the actions by his body, mind, and speech. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent, cannot see things as they are. So, we should not conclude that I am the only doer. Okay, I
Okay,
did this. We should
okay,
not conclude. With the help of Krishna's mercy, I did this. Like that.
okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Hmm? A foolish cannot understand the super soul is sitting in the heart as friend within and conducting his actions. Although the material causes are the place, worker, endeavor, and senses, the final cause is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, SPOG. Therefore, one should see not only the four material causes but the supreme efficient cause, the super soul behind everything. One who does not see the supreme thinks himself to be the doer. Okay, this is the problem. If you don't know this, then we will think we did it, but we don't do. The super soul permits us. Therefore, one who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his actions. One who knows this, that if it is the Supreme's desire, then even though he may kill men, he actually what doesn't kill. Okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So, just like a soldier kills under the command of a superior officer or government or king, then he's not subjected to be judged, right? If he does it
Yes,
on his
yes.
own personal account, then he has to be put judged in the court of law. Okay.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
No, Prabhuji. This topic covers everything, no, Prabhuji. 18 chapter.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Everything modes, everything it is covered.
Yeah. Some things we'll discuss again and here, and it will take to the devotional service, highest devotional service. Hmm?
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Correct. Okay. So no
Dhanyavad.
questions. Fine. We'll meet next week and continue from 18.18. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.